Kasey Stone with Clerestory Design, and we are back and we are starting a new project. As you can see, it's another kitchen. We've been on a kitchen spree lately. This is a great kitchen. It's got good guts. It's got a good layout. I'm just gonna give it a facelift. But before we get to work, let me show you the before. So it's demo day, and this is the ultimate delicate demo because our countertops and our lower cabinets are remaining. So we have got to be super careful in our demo. You can see these doors are already off. Here too, the guys are protecting the floors. We're gonna keep these floors, and we're keeping the countertops. So they're putting down some special plastic to protect that. And then once everything is covered up, we're gonna start doing some demo. We're gonna take out all these upper cabinets, the cheesy thing over the window. We're gonna take out one of these beams. You see there's these faux beams all over the kitchen. These are all gonna stay, but we're gonna take that one out that's in the middle of the kitchen because it's just disruptive to the plan. All right, we are completely wrapped up. There's plastic everywhere. We've got zip walls up, and we are now busting out the Sawzall, and we're ready to start taking down some cabinets. First cabinet is out, and we're gonna keep on rocking and rolling. We're taking the cabinets out. We're also gonna open up that soffit, and this is that one beam that I told you is going away. All while protecting our countertops and that cooktop. Okay, so we are gonna break for lunch, but they got all of this out. We got the double stove out that's gonna be donated, and we're making our way around the room. We'll be back after we grab something to eat. All right, the guys beat me back from lunch, and they have been busy. All of these out. We were pretty confident that those beams, at least the majority of them, are just decorative. So it does stop at the cabinet. It did not go, it wasn't running up through the cabinet. So that was pretty much a confirmation that it was decorative. So we're about to see what's inside them. What are they made of? It's pretty much hollow, just a 2x4. All right, so we have lucked out on this one. That backsplash is done on a board that just popped right off the whole wall of backsplash, which is gonna keep us from having to demo all of that. Well, I mean, we still demoed it, but we didn't have to break it all down. Let's hope it all comes out in one piece. This piece here, where the stoves were, built-in stoves are going back, but to get that soffit out, we ended up having to take the whole thing out. The homeowner was considering going a little bit bigger. This held 24-inch stoves, and it's really hard to find 24-inch these days. Everything is 27. So now we're wondering if there's room to get them above the countertop, if we could just build over just a little bit. It's pretty much hollow for this. Just a 2x4. All right. First of all, it's really dusty in here. So we are all masked up. We have made really good progress on this side, and the guys have turned their attention over here. We're gonna do the same thing over here. Demo the cabinets, demo the soffit, but we will be keeping the beams over here, which means when we build the cabinets, these will be built just a little bit higher than those. The idea is to design all of these so that the doors hit just under those beams. And you can see there's beams. There's a lot of beams in the room. So we're gonna keep them all except for that one that we took out. So the cabinets on this side are made differently than those over there. So we're dissecting them in a different way. These are actually made with 2x4s and are a good bit more solid than the ones on the other side were. All right, you know I love old houses. So can you see that there is a sheetrock ceiling? Whoa, finger. There's a sheetrock ceiling, but in that crack, you can see that there is a paneling, a tongue and groove paneled ceiling as well. And the cabinet structure goes all the way up to that tongue and groove. So that tells me that this cabinet predated the sheetrock ceiling. So not only did they put these beams flush up to the cabinet, but they also sheetrocked after the cabinet was in place. What does that mean? Absolutely nothing, other than I just like to investigate and figure out how stuff was built. All right, we have a correction. It was not a tongue and groove ceiling. It's the old Silatex ceilings. There's a good chance that that's asbestos, but as long as we don't disturb it, it's really not a problem. So we're gonna try our darndest not to disturb it. So one thing we figured out, we were trying to figure out what this might have been. This was the old kitchen, and that was probably an old breaker box or circuit box. Of course, the new one is moved over here. And then we've got this where we've got some old breakers. This is not hot anymore, but some of these are. So we're gonna work carefully around this until our electrician gets here and let him see if there's anything we need to concern ourselves with. Good morning, everyone. It is day 3. We did not get much footage yesterday because we were just doing more demo and then a long, detailed trip to Lowe's to pick up all of our materials. We're back. We're trying to outpace some nasty weather. It's already turning kind of nasty out there, but let me show you what we have going on. So you know that we are going to keep our drawer boxes and just give these base cabinets a facelift with new doors and new drawer fronts. And we have some samples of that. So you can see this pretty little detail. It's just a little step up from a traditional shaker. This backside is really what a shaker would look like. And we're adding just that little, pretty little trim detail. I don't love the proportions of this drawer, so we're working on adjusting this to this, to this, to this. So here's a sample door, which we love. So this is made out of a nice pine and a luan. So anyway, we've got little samples here. Jesus is figuring out all of the exact details and dimensions so that we can start producing these when we're not here building. The next step here is to start building. We are waiting on some specs for appliances for that end. So I think we're gonna start building on this end. So here's an example of what those drawer bases look like once we remove that face. They're still a good solid drawer. They've still got good working glides. So we're just going to pop that face off and put a new one on. So we are doing lots of measurements and figuring. And in this old school kitchen, there's a really big gap between the drawer fronts. There's like a 2-inch filler that you see, almost that whole filler. We're trying to get the drawers closer together. So what that means is the drawer fronts get bigger. We don't actually change the drawers. So Jesus is here calculating how big can those drawer fronts be. If you see down at the bottom, how much gap there is between those drawers. So it's really like a puzzle to figure out exactly how much space we're gonna have and what size our drawers are gonna be. The good thing is once we figure this bank out, all the top drawers will be the same size. These are the only ones that vary in height. They'll all be different lengths, of course, but this is the only bank of drawers where one on top of each other is a different height. So we figured the spacing out here. We're gonna go with 1/4 inch between each drawer front and between the drawer fronts and the doors. So we have these drawings here that I did when we were figuring it out. Jesus has been going back behind me and adjusting. Now that we've adjusted the door spacings, he's adjusting all of our notes so that we have exact dimensions for all the drawers and doors once we start to build them. All right, so we are winding down on day 3. I thought that we were gonna start building today, but with the weather, we didn't wanna get the saws out. So can you tell what we've been doing? We've been sanding. We have been sanding, we have been patching wood. We think that this may be some latex paint over some oil paint because it's scratching off really easy. So we're gonna sand everything and then we're gonna kills everything. You can see we've popped those drawer fronts off looks like all of the drawers. And we've patched some wood where those old hinge screws were. We are reworking our stove area. So lots of stuff that doesn't look like a lot of progress, but is important. All right, everybody, we're wrapping up day 3. We continue to prep cabinets. Jesus has this whole thing figured out since we got the specs on the built-in stove and the microwave. He's ready to get started building that tomorrow. We are continuing to prep down at that end, sanding, taking off things that we're not gonna need. We think we've got almost all the doors and drawers sizing figured out. So we are finishing up this wet day of prep, and hopefully tomorrow the sun will shine. We can set up some saws and we can get to work.